You wake up to your phone buzzing with notifications, which is weird because the only notifications you usually get are from your mom asking why you haven't called. You've been grinding on YouTube for 3 years, uploading twice a week, optimizing thumbnails, studying analytics like they're ancient prophecies, and your subscriber count is stuck at a pathetic 47. 47 people in a world of 8 billion think your content is worth their time, which is statistically less popular than most rare diseases. Your latest video was pure desperation content. You'd run out of ideas, energy, and hope, so you just turned on the camera and ranted for 12 minutes about how cereal companies are scamming everyone by making the bag smaller but keeping the boxes the same size, how they put new and improved on boxes that now contain less cereal, like we're all idiots who can't do basic math. You were unshowered in a wrinkled t-shirt, gesticulating wildly at a camera that probably cost less than most people's lunch. No editing, no thumbnail, no script, just raw, caffeinated fury about breakfast food that somehow became a manifesto about corporate manipulation. You uploaded it at 2 a.m. with the title, "Why Cereal Companies Are Literally Satan," and went to bed expecting the usual outcome. 3 views, 2 of them from your mom. But your phone won't stop buzzing. You check YouTube and your brain short circuits. The video has 2.3 million views. 2.3 million. The comments are exploding faster than you can read them. This guy gets it. Finally, someone said what we're all thinking. I've been going insane thinking I was the only one who noticed this. Your subscriber count is climbing in real time. 50,000, 75,000, 100,000. People aren't just watching, they're sharing their own stories. Thousands of comments. Within 48 hours, you're at 500,000 subscribers. News outlets are calling it the serial rant that broke the internet. Late-night talk shows are playing clips. Someone made a remix that's trending on TikTok. You're getting interview requests from podcasts you've actually heard of. The money starts small but grows fast. YouTube ad revenue hits $15,000 in the first week, which is more than you made in the previous 6 months combined. Then brands start reaching out. Not cereal companies, obviously, but everyone else who wants to associate with authentic anger. A mattress company offers you $25,000 to rant about how the mattress industry is also a scam. You take it because you've been sleeping on a futon since 2019 and your back sounds like bubble wrap when you stand up. You lean into the angry truth teller persona because apparently that's what people are starving for. You rant about airline fees, subscription services that make it impossible to cancel, the fact that printers are clearly designed by demons who hate trees and human happiness. Each video gets millions of views. Your subscriber count hits 2 million within 6 months. The ad revenue alone is pulling in $80,000 a month. But the real money comes from diversification. You launch a merchandise line, Cereal Satan t-shirts, corporate gaslighting survivor hoodies, honest packaging, or death mugs. The first batch sells out in 4 hours, generating $200,000 in profit. You hire a team to handle production and shipping because apparently you're a business owner now, which is ironic considering how much you hate businesses. Year 2, you're pulling in $2 million annually. You invest half of it in index funds and cryptocurrency because every finance YouTuber says that's what smart people do. Bitcoin happens to be at $30,000 when you buy in, and by some miracle of timing and dumb luck, it hits $60,000 6 months later. Your $500,000 investment becomes $1 million overnight, which feels like the universe apologizing for those 3 years of eating ramen. You start a podcast called Honest Takes, where you interview other people who are fed up with corporate nonsense. It becomes the number 3 podcast on Spotify within 8 months because apparently everyone is angrier than they're letting on. Spotify offers you an exclusive deal worth $5 million over 3 years. You sign it while sitting in your new house, which cost $800,000 and has more bathrooms than you know what to do with. Year 3, your net worth hits $15 million. You launch a company called Honest Products, selling everything from transparent priced phone cases to energy drinks that actually list what's in them instead of hiding behind proprietary blends. The company goes viral because you live stream every board meeting and publish your profit margins publicly. Revenue hits $50 million in the first year because people are apparently desperate for businesses that don't treat them like idiots. The media loves you because you got rich by calling out other rich people, which is the kind of ironic success story that journalists can't resist. You're invited to economic forums, asked to comment on corporate policy, treated like some kind of business prophet. Your net worth crosses $100 million when Honest Products gets acquired by a larger company for $200 million. And you feel the weird cognitive dissonance of becoming everything you used to complain about. Year 5, you're worth $300 million, and people start suggesting you run for office. You should be president, they comment on every video. You're the only honest person left. The idea seems insane until you realize that stranger things have happened in politics, and you've got name recognition that most senators would kill for. You announce your presidential campaign on YouTube naturally. The video gets 50 million views in 24 hours. You win the election by the largest margin in modern history, which feels surreal because 5 years ago you couldn't get 4 views on a video. As president, you push through radical transparency laws. Every government contract gets live streamed. Corporate lobbying becomes illegal. Your approval rating hits 80% because apparently people like it when their leaders don't lie to them constantly. You serve 2 terms, leave office with a 75% approval rating, and your post-presidency speaking fees are $500,000 per event. By year 8, your net worth hits $1.2 billion. The media starts calling you the authentic billionaire, the guy who somehow got obscenely rich while maintaining his everyman credibility. You start investing in space technology because Earth feels too small for your ambitions, and also because you're pretty sure humanity needs a backup plan. Year 10, you're worth $3.8 billion, and your rockets are carrying humans to other worlds. You've gone from complaining about cereal to literally expanding human civilization. Time magazine names you Person of the Decade. You're not just rich, you're historically significant. Then the aliens show up. They arrive in ships that make your rockets look like paper airplanes, hovering over major cities worldwide. The world looks to you for leadership because apparently being good at YouTube and running a country qualifies you to handle first contact with extraterrestrial life. The aliens communicate through complex mathematical patterns that your team of scientists eventually decode. They're peaceful, they say. They come in friendship. They want to share knowledge and technology. They perform what their translation describes as a universal gesture of peace and goodwill, extending all their appendages toward Earth while emitting a low-frequency sound that resonates across the planet. What you don't know is that in their culture, this exact gesture means we claim dominion over this pathetic world and its inferior inhabitants. It's like offering a handshake that actually means I own you now. When humans don't immediately submit to their authority, the aliens interpret it as an act of war. Their peaceful exploration fleet turns out to be a conquest armada that was just being polite before the invasion. The war lasts 3 brutal years. Their technology makes human weapons look like sticks and stones. Cities fall within hours. Governments collapse. You're leading the resistance from underground bunkers, using your global influence to coordinate what's left of human civilization through encrypted YouTube live streams, which is probably the most 21st century thing imaginable. You watch billions die. You make impossible decisions about which cities to defend and which to abandon. You authorize the development of increasingly desperate weapons, each one a compromise with your own humanity. In the final year, with humanity on the brink of extinction, you fund the development of the quantum reality disruptor, a weapon that manipulates the fundamental structure of space-time itself. It's theoretical physics turned into a doomsday device, designed to erase the alien fleet from existence by collapsing the dimensional space they occupy. The weapon works, too well. Instead of just eliminating the aliens, it tears a hole in reality itself. The fabric of space-time unravels like a sweater with a pulled thread. Stars disappear, galaxies collapse inward. The universe begins eating itself from the edges, and you realize you haven't just won the war. You've ended everything. You watch from your command bunker as reality implodes around you. Matter dissolves into energy. Energy dissolves into nothing, and nothing expands to consume everything that ever was or could be. In the final moment, as existence itself collapses into a single point of absolute void, you find yourself standing in a space that isn't space, facing a presence that doesn't have a form, but somehow radiates infinite understanding. Well, says God, or the universe, or whatever this is, that escalated quickly. You try to explain, to apologize, to somehow undo the complete destruction of reality, but the presence just chuckles with the sound of galaxies being born. Don't worry about it. Happens more often than you'd think. Usually it's someone trying to make a better toaster, but YouTube fame to universal destruction is a new one. The void around you starts to shift, reality rewinding like a cosmic DVR. Let's try this again, shall we? You wake up to your phone buzzing with notifications. You're back in your old apartment staring at a video titled "Why Cereal Companies Are Literally Satan" that has exactly 3 views. You stare at the screen for a long moment, remembering the weight of infinite power and infinite responsibility. Then you delete the video and go make some actual cereal. Some dreams are too big for reality.